Alright, so today's video is unfortunately not going to be a little bit different. Today we are once again talking about washed-up Hollywood loser turned rabid Zionist Michael Rapaport, of course for all of the wrong reasons. And the reason we're talking about Michael Rapaport today is because he posted this video 2 days ago. When is Pride Month in Gaza? Pride Month, Pride Week, Pride Day doesn't exist in Gaza. There's no freedom for the LGBTQ community in Gaza. And before we take a look at this clip, because this clip is actually him responding to an actress who won an Emmy last week. She won an Emmy. Her name is Hannah Einbinder. We're going to take a look at this clip here during her acceptance speech. She won an Emmy for the show Hacks, and during her acceptance speech, she used the platform that she had to talk about some really important things. We're going to take a look at this clip, and then we're going to take a look at Michael Rapaport's clip, which is seemingly in response to Hannah Einbinder. And I have to just say two things really quick. Hannah Einbinder's family is Jewish, and she is also bisexual. That stuff is important to the context of everything we're going to cover here today. Here is Hannah Einbinder saying Free Palestine during her acceptance speech.
I thought it was important to talk about Palestine because it's an issue that's very dear to my heart. I have friends in Gaza who are working as frontline workers, as doctors right now in the north of Gaza to provide care for pregnant women and for school children, to create schools in the refugee camps. And it's an issue that's really close to my heart. For many reasons, I feel like it is my obligation as a Jewish person to distinguish Jews from the state of Israel because our religion and our culture is such an important and long-standing, basically like institution that is really separate to this sort of ethno-nationalist state. And in terms of the pledge, it's like many movements, boycotting is an effective tool to create pressure on the powers that be to meet the moment, you know. So the Film Workers for Palestine boycott does not boycott individuals. It only boycotts institutions that are directly complicit in the genocide. So, yeah, it's important to me, and I think it's an important measure, and so I was happy to be a part of it.
And I don't think that she could have said it any better. I could have said it any better myself. It is my obligation as a Jewish person to distinguish Jews from the state of Israel. Our religion and our culture is such an important and long-standing institution that is really separate to this sort of ethno-nationalist state, which is literally 100% correct. That's something Michael Rapaport has yet to realize, that you can still be proud of your Jewish heritage and not support the genocide going on in Israel. But here's Michael Rapaport responding to Hannah Einbinder in just the most unhinged possible way he could have.
I've said this a bunch of times. If you're Jewish, there is no free Palestine for you. If you're Jewish and gay, if you're Jewish and LGBTQ, there's no free Palestine for you. You don't exist there. I heard you don't exist there. You can say free Palestine all you want with your bags and your stickers and your pins and your keffiyeh scarves and your watermelons and you protest and you're whining and complaining. You get tossed off buildings in Palestine. You're Jewish and LGBTQ, any LGBTQ, any of them, you don't exist in Palestine. You don't exist in Gaza, period. So you support people that do not want you, will not let you exist. That's who you support? The is going on here, man? Start with free the hostages. Tell your people to free the hostages. Tell the leaders, it's not a government, tell the leaders, the terrorist organization Hamas, who the UN doesn't even acknowledge as a terrorist organization, the UN. Say, Hamas, free the hostages, UN. Please. Hamas, free the hostages, you dumb baboon, savage, arson, rapist, murdering, kidnapping. Please free the hostages so the innocent civilians and their lives can be saved. Please free the hostages. You won't say it.
You know what? You know what I think? There's so much that I'm going to talk about here. You know what I think he did a really good job of, though. Actually, at the end when he according to him, was describing Hamas, saying that they are. Let's hear Michael Rapaport say it one more time.
Dumb baboon, savage, arson, rapist, murdering, kidnapping, please.
Baboon, savage, arson, rapist, murdering fucks. You know what? You know what those words could be described, or could be used to describe to a perfect T? The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, are baboon, murdering, rapist, arsonist fucks. That is what the IDF is. So if he was using those words to describe the IDF, point on 100%, no notes there. But there's a lot of claims that this dipshit made that we're going to address here. The first one being, sitting there saying that, you don't exist in Palestine. Well, the first thing that I need to say here is it is not legal to get married if you are gay in Israel. You cannot have a same-sex wedding in Israel. It's not allowed. The law does not allow for it. So he can sit there and shit on the Palestinians and the Muslims all he wants, but it's literally not legal to get married in Israel. The next claim that I want to address is him saying that if you're gay, you get thrown off of buildings in Gaza, as he says it. Gaza. He sounds like he's perpetually, like, his nose is stopped up. It really, I can't listen to his voice for long or else my head will fucking explode. I found a fact check from Reuters here. I actually have two fact checks here. This is from December 14th, 2023, so it's kind of recent. Video of people thrown from roof shows punishment by ICE, not Hamas. And again, there is no evidence to support the claim that if you are a homosexual in Gaza or in the West Bank or in that area at all, the small sliver the Palestinians claim that they have, there is no evidence to support that they are getting thrown off of buildings. That does not happen. I found another fact check from June 8th, 2021 that says the exact same thing as the Reuters fact check. So, Michael, please show me evidence. Please show me any sliver, any shred of evidence that says that if you are gay in, if you are gay and Jewish in the West Bank or whatever, that you are getting thrown off of buildings, because it doesn't happen. That's a goddamn egregious fucking lie. But you want to know what isn't an egregious fucking lie? Gay Palestinians that are being blackmailed by the Israeli government, gay Palestinians that are being blackmailed by the Israeli government that are under extreme Israeli surveillance. I found this article here from the Jewish Voice for Labor. I'm not too familiar with this organization. I believe it's a British organization. Israel, with its most moral army in the world, will stop at nothing in its commitment to control the land of the Palestinians. The club life in Tel Aviv, the supposed welcome for the LGBT communities clearly do not apply to Palestinians. What? No. Here, the journalist Thea Chattel, I don't know if I pronounced that name right, managed to get testimony from dozens of gay Palestinians who found themselves victims of blackmail from Israeli operatives who, through Israel's sophisticated surveillance capacity, have been identified and then blackmailed for information. Are you going to talk about that, Michael? Are you going to fucking open your big fat-ass mouth about Israel doing mass surveillance and blackmailing queer Palestinians? Are you going to talk about that, you dumb fat bitch? No, you're not going to talk about that. And again, I could go into the pink washing of the of this genocide of the Palestinian conflict and how disgusting that is. But the next thing that I want to really address right now is we'll play it again just for context. Him getting mad that the UN doesn't recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization. Seemingly, what I'm assuming, he gets so upset about it because recently the United Nations said that Israel is committing a genocide against the Palestinian people, which that makes him really angry, guys.
LGBTQ, any of them, you don't exist in Palestine. You don't exist in Gaza, period. So you support people that do not want you, will not let you exist. That's who you support?
And there's just one more thing I have to say before we get to the part that I wanted to play. The Palestinian people just want to exist. They want to not be under Israel's fucking thumb. Their gigantic disgusting genocidal thumb. They just want to live freely. If this dumb bitch, this is the example that I love to use when I talk about this issue. If this stupid fat prick had to go through a military checkpoint to get to his job every single day, would he be sitting there saying this? Would he be sitting here spewing this nasty rhetoric? Palestinians have to go through, or had to go through. I doubt many of them have their jobs now. Had to go through a military checkpoint, an Israeli military checkpoint, to get to their jobs. That is occupation 100%. That is one tiny example of the occupation. If he had to go through a military checkpoint, a military that is not their, another country's military, to get to his job, would he be saying this nasty shit? No, he probably wouldn't. But he's not going to talk about that. He's not going to talk about all of the ways Israel occupies Palestinian land, all of the ways that they slaughter and murder and do all of the things he described Hamas does on a daily basis. Rape, murder, arson, shoot fucking children in the head. Shoot children in the head. He's not going to talk about any of that stuff. Here we go.
The is going on here, man? Start with free the hostages. Tell your people to free the hostages. Tell the leaders, it's not a government, tell the leaders, the terrorist organization Hamas, who the UN doesn't even acknowledge as a terrorist organization, the UN.
The UN. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to play. The UN. Who are these guys, right? Well, I mean, who's the UN? Like, what? The UN? I mean, what are we fucking... Israel has committed genocide in Gaza. UN Commission of Inquiry says. The United Nations Commission of Inquiry says Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. A new report says there are reasonable grounds to conclude that 4 of the 5 genocidal acts defined under international law have been carried out since the start of the war with Hamas in 2023. And I need to make this point. You only have to meet, out of these 4 of the 5 genocidal acts defined under international law, you have to commit 1 to technically be committing a genocide according to these standards. And they've done 4 of 5 according to this UN commission. 4 of 5. You only have to do 1, and they've done 4 out of the 5. Is Michael going to talk about that? No. Is this dumb piece of shit, washed up Hollywood actor? This is, I mean, honestly, I know he's a super racist piece of shit, and I know that he will never care, does not care. But I definitely think part of this is a grift, because he never talked about any of this stuff before 2023. He never talked about, he never really talked about his Jewish identity, which apparently his Jewish identity is just being a Zionist. He never talked about it beyond that. He never talked about anything that has to do with Palestinians or Jews before October 2023. So a lot of me thinks it is a grift. Again, he is a super horrible human being, just one of the most vile, disgusting pieces of trash that this godforsaken earth has to offer. That being said, that is going to be it for this video. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on auto notifications so you guys never miss an upload. And guys, please, let me know what you thought of Hannah Einbinder going on the Emmy stage during her acceptance speech and saying what I think was pretty fucking awesome, pretty great. Her speech was pretty great. Let me know what you thought of what she said. Let me know what you thought of Michael Rapaport's god-awful response. Also, I have to say one more thing here before I go. I don't know why, because it looks like he's reading off a phone. Why are there so many cuts in this video? This is 1 minute and 31 seconds, and there's like 20 cuts. Could your dumb ass really not get out the small amount of racism that you said, the small amount of lies that you spewed about the Palestinians? Could you really not get it out in one take? There were so many cuts, I was honestly having trouble focusing. It's 1 minute and 31. It looks like you're reading off a phone anyway, you dumb bitch. How could you not get it out without all of those cuts? So that's, like I said, let me know what you thought of Michael Rapaport. Let me know what you thought of my coverage. Let me know what you thought overall, and I will see you guys in the next one.